Joe Mullinex,
Present.
Dave Moon,
Here.
Brent Wedding, absent, Mike Wilson.
Present.
All right, reading and approving of the minutes.
Make a motion, we dispense with reading of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no old business, new business. Area use variance for 2560 West Airport Road, requested 5-inch offset of the 3-foot setback. State your name and tell us what you want to do.
John Mongosa. What I want to do is I'm building onto my shop, and I need 5 more inches into the setback to get my shop the way that I want it.
And how close to the road is your property line?
Measured, the smallest part was 14 feet, 5
14
inches.
feet. So from property line to there, you got 14 feet. And he's asking for a 5-inch setback off his 3-foot setback. Thank you. Anybody here to discuss this? Remonstrators at all? Okay. Any discussion from the board?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Yeah. Any questions, Mike? Okay. So this is where we use states. This is Airport Road. He's going to come 2 foot 7 inches away from the setback. The line is right here. This is 14 feet. And he's asking for 5 inches variance on the setback there. From his property line. And the property line is still another 14 feet to the road. And they're going to end up making this the cul-de-sac anyways.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, good?
Yes.
Now you can make your motion.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Second. Roll call.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Mike Wilson,
Yes.
Joe Mullinex.
Yes. Okay. That's it.
John.
Okay, so
I'm going to send stuff in.
the rest of you are here for the next one then.
I'm going to send stuff.
Or you just really don't have anything better to do on it. You just decided to pop in here and see how much fun this would be.
Government at work.
Okay, the request is for a use variance for 515 Sunnyside and periodic camper hookup for use. Okay, who's here for this? You're the folks that are asking for this? Yes. Come on up. Okay. Okay, explain what you would like.
What we'd like to get is a variance so we can keep our camper where it is and keep our utilities intact, not necessarily to run the camper, because the camper's been in winterization for the last 2.5 years. And we admit that there was some power on, but it was to keep the refrigerator running. There's no power been on for the last month or so because we emptied the refrigerator.
So you're storing this camper on this property?
We are storing it, but we also want to be able to use it from time to time.
So as in use it, would, I mean, go out there, just sit around, you stay in it overnight, you,
We do not do that, but yes, if we can get permission to do that, we would like to be able to do that. My husband's health does not allow us to travel, and it would be nice to be able to have a place to go. Even though it's close to our property and everything, it would be nice to have a little getaway.
and there's 2 trailers on the property?
There's just one. The other one has been
Yeah.
pulled away.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been sold.
Okay, thank you.
The Everett Field is what we call it.
Okay.
We named it in memory of our 2-month-old great-grandson. When,
Now, when you would stay in this trailer, if you were planning to stay in this trailer, you wouldn't have any water hooked up to it? Or you would hook up water when you stayed?
yes, we would hook the water up.
Okay, what do you do with the wastewater?
We have,
We have a sewer hooked up to it.
What's that?
We have a sewer outlet to the.
There's a
We-
sewer outlet on the property?
we
Yeah,
had
there
permission
is.
from the city to get the electric, the sewer, and the water hooked up when, back in 2016.
Can I see that, please?
Was it the city or was it the utilities?
What's that?
Is that from the city or is that from the utilities?
I talked to Bruce Carson and Dennis C. They were both in office at the time. They came to the property and they gave me permission. I told them that I wanted to be able to do this. I wanted everything told up front so that I wouldn't have any issues down the road. And they told us we could go ahead and have the water, sewage, and the electric hooked up.
Unfortunately, Mr. C just walked out of here.
Well, one thing is, when Mr. Court moved there in 2018, I know we're not supposed to know who made the complaint, but when somebody tells me they're going to destroy me, it's pretty obvious who made the complaint.
Well, I don't,
And he had no he knew when he moved there.
I'm just asking about the different hookups and stuff right now.
Okay, sorry.
No problem, I'm just trying to get through one
I'm
part.
just trying to give you a little history, so.
And we'll probably get to that in a few minutes. Okay, so there's a sewer hookup. Did you get anything in writing from the city saying that they had given you this variance to use this trailer on your property? Or was it just a word of mouth thing?
It was a word of mouth from Bruce and Denny both.
Yeah, this is electric permit, sewer permit, was permitted. Did you want to see that? I did.
They met me at the lot and looked things over, and it was a verbal agreement.
Which trailer did you remove, the fifth wheel or the pull?
The other, the pull.
Pull line.
Gotcha.
There's a picture in your packet where it shows
That
there's
it's
only
already
one.
taken
Yeah.
out? Okay.
we do mow weekly. We hire somebody to come in and deal with the leaves in the fall. So it is kept nice and neat year-round. It's plated, it's insured.
Anybody get questions of these folks, or?
Question for you. Is there an issue with how long someone can stay in a trailer that's hooked up in a property, private property,
Basically turns it into a campground situation.
or residence?
Right.
So is the question
Basically, when
about
you're
how
storing
long?
it, you're storing it. You're not, you know, it's not supposed to be hooked to power. That type of
So
stuff.
when you hook all three up, now you have a residence.
Yeah. Basically, I see it. Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. Are there any remonstrators out here? Okay, well, if we have more questions for you, we'll call you back up. And
Thank you.
let's hear from them and see where we're at. Come on up.
Hi, my name's Dennis Gilbert,
Okay,
and I represent my mother's property at 516 Sunnyside Drive. It's right adjacent to the property in question. I guess the first thing I would point out is on the notice of petition that you sent out, it says that this is for a periodic hookup. As near as I can tell, that camper is there permanently. It has not been moved, and as they have admitted themselves at other times, there has been at least one other camper there. This does not look like a storage lot. It looks like a campground. There's a fire pit, there's swing sets, I mean, things you'd expect with a single-family dwelling, which is how this is zoned. And beyond that, one of the reasons I'm very concerned about this is, as I said, I'm representing my mother's property. She just recently passed, and this property is going to be going up, my property is going to be going up for sale. And I would be concerned about people, you know, potential buyers seeing what looks like a campground next to the property and how that might potentially affect my property value. Okay, they've already addressed the water and electric hookups, which were a couple of the questions that I had. I also spoke with my estate attorney this morning, since we're in the process of working out the details on the estate. And some of the paperwork he pulled up raised a couple of other interesting questions. Number one, there is a deck built next to the camper. According to the paperwork he pulled up, this is an unimproved lot. So if there was a deck built, there should have been a permit pulled and paid for, and they should have also been paying taxes on the improvement. But none of that is shown in the paperwork that he printed out for me. So those are my concerns about this that I wanted to share with you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
thank you. Let's get through some of them, and then, is there anybody else here to discuss this issue? Okay. Okay.
Hi, my name's William Gilbert, and as my brother said, it's here about my mom's house. I know this has been kind of an ongoing issue. I know for at least probably 5 or 6 years that trailer has sat there and not moved an inch. There was 2 trailers there up till probably maybe a week before we got the notice about this hearing. Now, some of the questions I have, which is in the city code of 151.066 residential district. It says in paragraph A, including campers of any kind without current license plates. I don't know how current the plates are on it. I have not been on that side of the camper to see. It says parked, stored more than 7 days on any residential zone must be inside a completely enclosed building. This trailer is not. It is considered an abandoned vehicle. Down in paragraph 2 or B, it says no more than 2 pieces of equipment present. There was 2 at one time. But no such equipment shall be used living, sleeping, camping, housekeeping while parked or stored on residential lot. Residential vehicles shall not be electric or water connected while stored or parked on any lot other than a campground. That's not a campground down there. It's a residential area. And like I say, some of the other things was brought up that has been addressed, I guess, the water and sewage. That's a concern. There is a electric meter setting there that's probably about this high up on a pole, and there's water there. The other concern I have is when they do have electric hooked up there, it's a safety issue for kids in the neighborhood. There's nothing around it to protect it. It's right there in the wide open. So it's, in my thought, it's a safety issue. I'm not real sure what the city code is for open fires. They have fires out there. Like my brother said, there's a deck on it, and I'm concerned with how it's going to affect the value of the property when we do go to sell it. And the other thing, which I didn't bring the papers with me, I looked on a plat, and we're talking about 515 Sunnyside Drive. On that plat, the lot the camper's on and the one next to it is listed as Fuller Avenue. And on the value, I believe it was the value, land of the value, it was dated April, I believe it was April of this year, and it says location down there of Fuller Avenue.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Hi, my name is Jonna Quartz. I live at 513 Sunnyside Drive, so we are directly adjacent to this. I see it from my front yard. My biggest concern would be we do own multiple properties in the city of Peru. God forbid we start setting precedents by giving this variance. You would not want a camper parked and used next door to you. Other than that, I also noticed the plates are expired that are on the vehicle as of last week. They're 2016, as well as the second trailer they had is now parked around the corner. So is it going to be for one trailer, two trailer? Are they going to say they have two lots so they can have four? Who's going to police this? Who's going to make sure they're doing what they say? The tip outs are always on, the fifth wheel, they're always open. It looks occupied. When they want to talk about resale value, he's not fooling. When we bought that house in 2018, we got it for a song. Nobody wanted to live next to a campground. And we were willing because we needed a one-story home for my mother. Other than that, I would like to know what periodically is the definition. Is that every other weekend, holidays, that sort of thing? I think it's just way too wide open when they have already clearly read you what we've already voted on as the city of Peru. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name's Clyde Fenton, and I'm the guy you want to take camping, because when the bear starts chasing you, you'll get away. I've been around since that trailer was set there, and the trailer is basically used as a getaway. It's not a place where they go and spend months, weeks, maybe a couple of days. There's several things that's been mentioned here that goes on throughout Peru, Indiana. I can take you right now to a C-class motorhome that's set in the same location 3 years, unplated. And nobody has ever pressed that issue. As far as the deck is a floating deck. It can be moved by several people. It's not fixed to the ground. The plates are current, is that correct?
Yes.
On the trailer. They are current. So if I wanted to back up to that trailer and hook onto the fifth wheel hitch, that trailer could be pulled out of there. It's not permanent. As far as open fires, there's a lot of open fires, and they're maintained because they have a fire pit, and they watch the fire. They do not burn trash. They do not burn. There's plenty of twigs that fall, and they take those twigs and they put them in there and eliminate them. And how would one find out the plate issue unless they were trespassing? Unless they have very good binoculars. People use this for a getaway. I know Dennis, I've known Dennis for a long time, and we all have our issues. You saw how long it took me to get up here. So getting around and having a few moments of enjoyment, if you would see the premise, I've been helping him mow the yard the last couple of times. It's very well kept. I will admit that there was a trailer there, and I had always said that trailer needed to be moved, and the trailer is now gone. So I would think really strongly about this, because you could go out and pinpoint a lot of places in Peru, Indiana. I used to tell my kids in school, Peru, Indiana is not a boring place, but it is filled with some boring people because they don't want to do anything. And these people want to enjoy life, and that's what it's about.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Hi. So, as most of you know, I'm code enforcement for the city. A couple of things I wanted to speak on regarding the ordinance, the expired tags, who's going to police this. It then becomes a code enforcement issue. That's why I've been out with Haley every time we've gotten a complaint on this. They have taken the steps to try to rectify the situation, so there's been no code enforcement violation as of right now, because they're trying to rectify it by getting this ordinance or this variance. Mr. Fenton, if you have a complaint regarding any campers, that's why I have a job. So I work off complaints. I don't know about them if people don't tell me. But again, who's going to police it? It's going to end up being me. So I'm one person in the city. I do the best I can, but they do have to abide by the plates, have to be up to date. And obviously, everything's just going to be dependent upon what happens today, of where it goes from here. So just want to let you know, that's why I came, because I figured this would come up. But again, I've been out with Haley every single time for every inspection. I've done inspections without her. I've spoken to the neighbors. I mean, we're doing the best we can.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
What neighbors have you spoken to?
We've been out there multiple times. They've met us several times. I'll come back up here.
I'd also be interested in knowing when they changed the plates, since they just moved the camper just before we received the notification.
As of last week, it was still expired.
Right. So again, once we got the complaint, we went out. I did not write them up for code enforcement because they have taken the steps to get this variance from the moment we received the complaint, which I think I explained to you guys, to the courts, Mr. Courts. So you guys have taken the steps necessary. So I don't react until we find out what happens here, because they're trying to do the right thing. What else? What question about the plates? So I wouldn't do anything about the plates until this happens, until we decide what's going to happen here. They still have to be on gravel. The campers were on gravel. That's another thing.
What about the impact to the property value?
I don't have anything to do with that. That's why they're here for this. I'm code enforcement. I'm grass, I'm trash, I'm derelict vehicles.
What
So
about the city code of having electric and water hooked up to it?
that's why they got a notice stating that they needed to either apply for a use variance or they were going to get code enforcement violations against them. Isn't that the letter you received? Yes. So that's when they came into the office, they applied for this, they're taking the correct steps, and now it's going to be up to the board to decide what happens from here. If they don't grant this, then code enforcement comes down on them.
Can I
Yes, sir.
interject and ask a question?
Please do.
The question is, the plates that are in question are the ones on the trailer that was pulled away.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I don't know.
Because the
I don't know.
The fifth wheel has current plates on it.
Okay.
Now,
Okay,
the next
sir.
thing
That's all well and good.
Yes.
We're not, if that trailer is off of the property at that time, we're not talking about anything.
Right.
What we're talking
Yeah.
about is exactly what's here right now.
Okay.
So that's a moot point at
I
that point.
guess,
And this is the
Mr.
very.
Fenton, my
Yes, sir.
question to you is, if both trailers have been sitting there for the past 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And one of them don't have plates on it, but the other one does, that makes me kind of question whether the fifth wheel's even got proper plates on it. I'm not gonna say it does, I'm not gonna say it doesn't.
I was looking through my
because for me
photos.
To find out, I would have to trust
Yeah,
that.
I was looking through my photos, and I don't have it with me today, but I do recall taking a photo that had the correct plates on that one. So again, two separate issues we're kind of talking about right now.
The very first thing that was mentioned here today, and that's the very first thing I wrote down, was 515 Sunnyside. That's the location we're talking about. They should have access to that
Yes.
premise from Sunnyside. It cannot be blocked.
Correct.
Correct.
But
We
in the
received a
file, it
complaint,
says
hold on.
Fuller Avenue.
We received a complaint that it was blocked. Haley and I went out, we addressed the issue, it was taken care of. I mean, we get called, we go out, it gets taken care of. I mean, I'm not sure what else anyone else would expect. So we did go out. I know there was question on whether they could actually pull in, things like that. We measured everything. I mean,
I have seen their family stay 3 or 4 days in the home. at
That's
West.
not true.
okay, so from code
That's not
enforcement,
true.
I'm going to step away.
That's not true.
Yes,
Dave, can I show you
during the
this?
weekends.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, what's it say?
Fuller. But that's 911, that's not the post office is what is the legal address.
Okay. but
And the
if
Peru
you go to the
utilities.
parcel thing where it shows the land value, down in the corner, it says Fuller Avenue, and it's dated this year.
Peru Utilities also has it as 515 Sunnyside for the hookup.
Uh-huh.
Peru Utilities has it, yeah, for the camper hookup, it is labeled 515 Sunnyside. That's what they put it as. And the courthouse is what deals with the Fuller Avenue part. If they want to get it legally changed, they are more than welcome to tell me, and I can put in an address change. And that can be 515, and it'll get changed on that website as well.
That would be up to them
Yes.
to change.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
The city made two lots there, 774 and 515 Sunnyside. The city made those two lots. There were originally 6 lots. I mean, I have a description of the survey, but if you need one, I have one.
And they're all adjacent to their property. Everything is all one unit.
The city gave us those, said we couldn't do anything till we had a 911 emergency address, so.
Okay.
And they assigned those two numbers to those two pieces of property, and made 6 lots into 2 lots.
Okay. How many, well, kind of a moot point on that. You got a trailer on a property, you want to use it, utilize it periodically with others. You folks are afraid of what it's going to do to your property values and all of that. That is, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Court and his wife moved there knowing the campers were there.
Because we got it for $25,000 less.
For 4 years, it wasn't a problem. All of a sudden, it becomes a problem when you
Yeah,
think about
It is
selling.
now, though.
What is the definition of periodic?
Occasionally, you can use different words, but periodic, it's not sustained living or occupation. I mean, do you want like 5 days, 6 days? I can't tell you that.
Like I say, periodic storage is not 5 or 6 years is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, this
That's
is
two
talking
different
about
things.
storage and hookup of the camper periodically, not how often they're staying. The camper's there permanently.
We have not stayed there.
I don't care about staying there, I care about the
We are
camper being
absent.
there and how it looks.
Looks occupied.
And in all the years you guys were there, this has never been a problem until now?
Exactly.
No, I've been to the mayor's office a couple times about it.
You have, but Bill hasn't.
And the person before me, they actually moved they got them to move the deck from the home, and they put it on their property line with a flag from Florida State University.
How long ago was this?
When we moved in. It was there when we moved it.
And who started that?
I don't know.
That's exactly right, you don't.
Yeah, but neither do you.
I do.
So I
How do you
know,
know?
I know that the previous,
That's hearsay.
Hang on, folks.
In a public hearing, hearsay.
I know that previous administration, the zoning administrator Stephanie Leffler, she dealt a lot with this. I don't know what the outcome was, but I know that there were complaints then, so.
So this is, well, I know this hasn't gone to the zoning board since 2016, that's for sure. But has this been to the board before?
No.
So nobody's complained up till now?
Correct.
No.
When did these complaints start being registered?
There were complaints,
Stop pointing fingers, I'm asking a question. Oh, stop. I'm trying to ask a question, one person at a time, let's not get riled up.
Joe, there has been complaints back in 2018. I actually have the file of what Stephanie has, but there was nothing said about what was done about it.
And
That was the previous owner of the property also, not Mr. Court.
so, in 2018, you didn't own, so there was a complaint in 2018, which was prior to you buying the property. And you have complained about this property since then?
I asked if they had a variant, they said they did have a variant. Then the city came out and they don't have a variant.
Okay,
and
but
now
they
we're
came
here
out
at
just
this meeting.
very recently, the
That
city.
is
I
not
learned
true.
that there was no variant very recently.
That is not
Never
true.
asked
They
us
never
for it.
asked us about a variance.
You said you were okay with it all.
Okay, I'm okay with it all.
He's lied twice
What
now.
happens when I go to sell my property and
That doesn't
all the
concern me.
improvements that we've made, over $30,000 worth of improvements with this, I won't get the money back. It won't come back to me because there's a campground house.
Yes, sir.
Now, the couple of times that I had gone up to the mayor's office to complain or stress my concerns about it, they told me that as long as it was moved every 30 days, there wasn't anything I could do about it. But it's never been moved.
Where's that written?
Huh?
Where's that written? You got that?
That's what I was told
You
by
got
the
it in
mayor's
black and
office.
white?
I've heard that about cars.
Do you have it in black and white? Cars.
No, I don't have.
Okay, I
it,
rest my
but I'm
case.
sure I can dig it up.
Well, I'm sure you can,
But
since
you
you're
just,
real good about
and you
talking
just
about
sat there a minute ago and admitted that I had been up
Okay,
here a couple
folks,
times and complained.
We're going downhill
No,
here.
I didn't know about it.
Guys.
Okay,
No, your husband.
that,
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
yes, ma'am, what would you like to say?
Man, my husband and I come up.
Please do.
I'm Tim Howard. I live at 75 Fuller Avenue. We
We
adjoin the
live-
property with them.
Yeah, we adjoin Everett Hill. I've known Dennis and Joanne for quite some time. I actually miss not hearing them, their family, in the field anymore. It's never been a problem for us, and we live right next door. Dennis helps us with the alley, we help him with the alley. It's not trashed over there, never has been. And I don't understand,
Why, there's a problem.
they have not spent the night in there. It's basically for when they have their family gatherings, they can go in and out and not have to run back to home or wherever.
It's almost like their backyard.
Yeah.
So why is it a problem?
It's, it's not a problem for us. I grew up in that neighborhood. There's a lot of campers in the neighborhood, and a lot of them are hooked up. So,
It's not trash.
It's not trash.
It's sewage and everything.
It's clean.
There's none of that.
There's nothing. It's clean. So we do not have a problem.
I drove the property. I went down there personally and looked at it because I do with all the properties. And no, I didn't see any trash or anything like that.
It's not a problem.
well taken
There's
care
not,
of.
it's not loud over there, or, it's just not.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand that, you know, the trailer's kind of dirty and stuff like that, but
it's weather, yeah.
They get
and
weather
it-
beaten, it happens.
trees and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, so,
Everything's well taken care of.
yeah. And we live right there,
Right.
so it's not. They're good
Okay.
people. They do anything for anybody, so
Okay, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Anybody else that hasn't spoken? Any questions from the board?
The code says they can't do it, right?
Correct.
They have to get a use variance.
Okay.
Any questions, Ms. Wilson? Ask anything?
So it sounds like the concern is the amount of time, or the possibility that someone, if it's hooked up permanently, or has the ability to be hooked up permanently, can then enjoy it permanently, unless someone complains, and unless someone makes a case to the enforcement administrator. Is that the issue?
Yeah.
Okay, so then if you grant the ability to say, yes, they can have it there temporarily, permanently, periodically, how can you characterize?
It can't be a resident, they can't just move into it. They want to go up and use it. They're asking us to be able to go up and use it occasionally.
Occasionally. So how do you agree to that unless you put some stipulations on time?
I think we're opening a can of worms if we approve it.
What's that?
I think we're opening a can of worms if we approve it.
That goes into your vote, sir.
But, I mean, am I making the same case that, you know, how do you characterize, you know, an occasional use? And then who enforces it? Is that a court enforcer that's got to go and see, hey, you stayed here 3 days in a row or something?
Well, like any other code enforcement, they have to receive a complaint and go down and check it out. All of that.
And I understand there's also something that says it has to be moved periodically.
It's the storage portion of it. How long has this trailer been on the property now? Since the very beginning. I mean, when was it first moved onto that property?
2016.
When my brother was killed. It was his.
7 years. 6 years.
And is there not a requirement that says you can't stay there that long because that's essentially permanent storage? So that's an issue by itself.
So, did you read the statute, 151?
I did, I was looking for it.
It's 151, 66.
No equipment shall be used for living, sleeping, camping, or housekeeping. That kind of says it right there. Isn't this the issue right here? It says no. Evening person. No such equipment shall be used for living, sleeping, camping, or housekeeping.
Well, parked or stored in on a residential lot.
It's a residential lot.
Yes. It is on residential. They're asking for a variance on that, so they can do that.
Recreational use shall not have electric or water connected.
That's what the,
That's clearly stated.
what the ordinance is. Okay, any questions? Wilson, any questions? Anything else from the audience before we take this to a vote? I make a motion, we take it to a vote.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Dave Moon,
No.
Mike Wilson,
I'm sorry, I have to say no.
Joe Mullenix.
I'm also going to have to say no. I'm very sorry, but
Yeah.
there's just too many.
Is there an appeal process?
Sure. But it come to the same board again, so.
So 515 at the end of Sunnyside Drive is to remain open. You should have access to get into that field.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it cannot be blocked.
Somebody trying to block
The
it.
city's already been out and we've already corrected
I'm not
that.
talking to you, I'm talking to you.
All right.
Well, I'm talking to you.
If you could hang on for just 1 minute, because we,
I think what would be appropriate is if it's clear what that says, if that's read to them. The reason that we're wanting to make this vote is because the statement says.
we can't do anything more with this now because we already voted.
I agree. I'm just saying, but
I'm just
they may
saying,
not
we can discuss that.
understand.
Let's discuss that after.
Okay, I thought it may be helpful for them. Okay, maybe not.
Okay, the vote's already been made.
Thank you.
I'd like to propose that we adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Make a motion. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Now if anybody wants to talk to us off the record.